Thank you very much for inviting me here today, and my huge congratulations to Gavi and all its supporters for your extraordinary work. As the person who gave the world Mr. Bean and lots of dodgy films, I can't apologize enough, but I'm speaking today as a fundraiser who has found how passionate the public are to give their own money to vaccines, as a British citizen who is deeply proud of Britain's deep involvement in Gavi, and as an advocate for the UN Sustainable Development Goals. It is impossible to underestimate the achievements of Gavi in saving and transforming lives. It's also, I think, impossible to underestimate the importance of making as much noise as possible about what Gavi does, because people understand the efficacy and importance of vaccines. They cut through politics because everyone can see the immediacy of their effects and the extraordinary numbers that they produce. This is Nancy. She's my niece's daughter, and she was vaccinated by the NHS to keep her safe. And she's going to be in charge of the numbers. Over to you, Nancy. 760 million. That's the number of children already protected from potentially fatal infectious diseases through Gavi. 760 million, and that's children as important and as precious as Nancy herself. 18, that's the number of diseases that Gavi will protect against. 1.5 million, that's the number of people dying every year from vaccine-preventable diseases. 15 million. That's the number of children still missing out on the benefits of vaccination in Gavi-supported countries. That's Global Goal 3, good health and well-being for all, towards the achievement of which Gavi is a hugely important part. And 1.1 billion, that's the total number of children who will be vaccinated by the end of 2025 if this replenishment is successful. And finally, less than $1. That's what some vaccines cost. And that's the number that means that normal people like me completely understand the madness when vaccines aren't available. But it's not only the crystal clear benefits to human life that are important about Gavi. Here is my fellow SDG advocate, former CEO of Unilever, and now chair of the International Chamber of Commerce, Paul Polman.
The moral case for Gavi is undeniable. Every child should have the right to grow up healthy. Already, Gavi has helped to protect more than 760 million children from potentially fatal infectious diseases. But the economic value of Gavi is also enormous, as every dollar of investment in immunization generates a $54 return. That's because healthy children are more likely to go to school and become productive workers, and because vaccinations help poor families avoid the crippling healthcare cost. That's to everybody's benefit, including the private sector. And developing countries, they need it most. In the coming years, Gavi's work is expected to save low-income countries up to $100 billion, releasing valuable funds that can be reinvested in essential public services. Vaccines don't just save lives, they also protect economies. And we need both now, more than ever. Please join me in supporting Gavi and help us reach our target vaccination of over 1 billion children and saving 22 million lives by 2025. Thank you very much.
And now a message from Alain Mourabit, SDG advocate, doctor, and campaigner.
To me, Gavi is about leaving nobody behind, a principle at the very heart of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. As a medical doctor, I've seen firsthand the devastating impact of health inequalities. The lottery of birth often means that where you're born, it dictates whether or not you're going to survive. That goal of leaving nobody behind with immunization is closer than ever. But population growth, climate change, conflict, and migration are threatening the gains we've made so far. That is why it is so critically important to redouble our efforts and ensure that every child is vaccinated. It's why Gavi's focus in this next phase is to really reach every child. Children in marginalized communities, children living in the midst of conflict in rural areas, in urban slums. Gavi means so much more than vaccines. It means helping to strengthen healthcare systems and to provide universal healthcare coverage, particularly for those who need it most. If we know anything, it is that COVID has shown us how incredibly and critically important this is. This is not about charity. This is about equality and justice and survival for every child.
Today is no ordinary day. It's not a business meeting. It's a day where every word, every commitment, every dollar has life and death consequences. Huge thanks to Gavi for hosting this replenishment and to everyone taking part. As we confront the COVID crisis and look to how we can build back better and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, Gavi has a huge part to play because, and I'm going to go back to Nancy here, it's a life-saving, money-saving, wealth-creating, country-building, game-changing, public-inspiring, justice-serving, health system strengthening, equality-creating, disease-defeating miracle. All the UN's SDG advocates hope you have a historic and triumphant day.
Thank you